hopping on to say happy full moon and eclipse. There's definitely a quantum wave taking place, which the Andromedans refer to as an arc of light. They're always seeing things as, high light frequency that's coming in, as well as sort of the solar storms, creating some anomalies there in the frequency. And so that's all divinely orchestrated, timed, perfect in its design. But it can be challenging, and it can be painful, and there can be big emotions that arise out of this, as we know. So sometimes it's a wave to kind of go under and just breathe and connect with yourself and rest. And other times it's to kind of rise above, right? That noise. And so that will be a personal journey, that you get to navigate with your sovereignty and heart space, of course. But just to know that there haven't been any like major or I would say like heavy hitter solar flares recently, or at least in this past week, but there has been quite a bit of the geomagnetic storms taking place and uh, coronal mass ejections. And so that is all sort of working together. And as it pertains to us, again, this is really cellular upregulation. It's an upgrade. We are simply recalibrating and calibrating to this higher frequency that is truly existing here on Earth now. That you have all played a part in to bring this home. Bringing your home frequency and expanding that with your light, which is so very beautiful. We talked about the divine feminine before, coming in pretty strong this month and even prior to, and then also then like taking that and expanding upon it, and coming into greater union and harmony with our own divine feminine and masculine energy. So we're going to see that play out as well. And with its eclipse energy that's happening too, is part of this cosmic ascension recipe. Relationships really want to be, or may want to be, uh, examined. So there may be a desire there. It doesn't have to be love relationships. It can be friendships. It can be, working relationships, all sorts of uh, non-romantic relationships as well. Although romantic may be a part of that. Um, a desire to travel more, a desire to um, step into like feeling like you're in greater alignment with purpose, that sort of thing. And so there is, or maybe, a parallel to 2017 in those energies, what was happening at your life. And that's not to feel it in a fearful way of, whatever may have been coming up to you, like with the perception of was it good or bad per se. It's more so to shed light upon what were the experiences, inspirations, and potential changes or challenges that arise. And are those being approached from a different octave now? That is all. And there is, of course, a big shift that's coming with all of this momentum that's being gained. And after, we go through these contractions, of course, there's expansion. And so that's what, at least that's coming through from Arcturian energy, is they want you to focus more on the expansion and who you are right now. And remember who you want to be and know that you are that already. So there's a lot more with the quantum field. There can be high strangeness and like sort of time dilation occurring in the next, well, really it's going to be for a while, but seeing some of that sooner rather than later. Gifts are taking flight. Definitely more are awakening, but there's also like different levels that are baked into that too, which is really interesting. And big portals of light being created. So, what they're talking about now, and this is sort of a combination, getting Pleiadians to entering, um, is between now and really mid-May. And that's because there's another energy that may pop up around mid-May. So really big choices that come up, more so big memory of who you are. Expect a really big presence is what's coming through. And getting angelic vibes too, like angelic energies that are wanting to come through. And it's feeling like almost like this rain dance of love and higher light spectrum. It's positive, it's to be perceived as positive. They want us to perceive it as positive, no matter what that sort of looks like from maybe even a third dimensional lens, to see it as something that is truly assisting and helping us, to support us, and remembering that you are divine engineers and architects of this design. Thoughts, of course, are more magnetic in that you are attracting things very, very quickly now, which I'm sure you have been experiencing. But that's only going to get stronger. So it's almost like it's play, and training in a way, from all different levels. Okay, let me just tap in and see. I keep hearing a toast to your accomplishments, which that's just the word that's coming through, but really just to celebrate all of these beautiful milestones, just reflecting. So not to attach to anything, but just to reflect on, um, how much you've been tuning your frequency to these higher dimensional frequencies, and how much that truly is a part of you. And I believe that there will be more light and conscious awareness over this, as we kind of dance for a moment between the light and the shadow, which is okay. So there's this weaving that's occurring too. But what the Andromedans really want to, accentuate or highlight, illuminate, is that it's okay to have two currents that are running, because, again, it's multi-layered. So some of this is what we call like cleanup crew, right? Like helping to clean up energy, whether that's for individual or collective. And so there can be a current of fear based energies that, sort of rise up. And so that's okay, just awareness of it. While simultaneously, there's also this part of us and this current of energy that is very, very trusting, very, very loving, and knowing that everything's okay, even when the kind of storm energies enter our spheres. And so the highlighting part from the Andromedans is who has the loudest voice within those two, within the fear, within the love, and who who are you giving the authority to? Okay, so there's a huge reminder coming through about authority. Who are you giving your authority to? And that's part of this reclamation of power. So just the awareness and the truth from your lens and your heart and your multidimensional, um, part of your essence. What one is more true for you, and then which do you give the power to? And that will, really help to, again, start building upon this foundation, not the old one that's been crumbling, but the new template, that's being restored, really. So the new old template, we will call it, of love, embodiment of unconditional love and memory of who we are, joy, play, all of those beautiful things. And then the only other thing I want to add in, is physical health, just to, notice and be aware that there may be a focus on those things, a continued focus, not that there hasn't been, but just noticing like what your kind of upgraded light body requires that could be, different, right, from previous stages and phases of your evolution. Okay, I'm going to just tap in live for a moment and see if there's anything else. Okay, before I do, just wanted to share this thing that I shared before, but it's I think it's Bob Friesel who originally shared this message, but basically like likened it to us being goldfish, right, in a freshwater tank, but uh, there's salt water that's coming through and seeping through that sort of aquarium, this freshwater aquarium. And so if all of that water came rushing in at once, then we may not, be able to adjust as quickly or quick enough for the transformation. But if that just kind of is slowly seeping in, then we're able to go through this evolution at exactly the right time that we're supposed to, and that will help and support us. And so wanted to share that. Okay, Archangel Michael, I guess, is wanting to come through. I'm hearing remember your Faraday cage. So remember that, like if you're having trouble sleeping at night or processing energies, that you can create this sort of energetic place around you. And the reason this is coming through is because it is stronger and lighter than ever before. So it feels like it's not necessarily protection, although you may see it that way. It's more so that more of the light energy is absorbing more light frequency, where before it may have been picking up kind of like the murky energies, right? So just noticing that and playing with that if that's something that you feel called to do. Archangel Michael is like, you got it. That's it. Okay. Who else is coming in? Okay, back to the Pleiadians. And I'm just hearing give your heart the microphone. Remember the microtronic waves that are occurring. Some will be quick to dismiss because we recognize them right away. We recognize it's not coming from the heart. And so just having that awareness, they're reminding us of our strength through the heart. We love you. Okay. Back to Andromedans. They want some of you, I'm hearing all who are called, to get used to feeling their presence. Very calm energy, but for some of you, this DNA is beginning to come online. Okay, it's helping to activate the lens of love. So it's helping to rearrange perception of what may have been perceived as challenging or difficult circumstances. The sacred geometries can also help with that. It's helping opening up the channel to more divine flow. And they're saying if you feel called to explore your Akashic records that may connect to lifetime event, and they're saying leadership roles are showing me. For some of you, this may take a little bit longer time to open up, and they're giving me kind of like showing them more expansive, like even the next several years or couple of years. But because time is going through an interesting process, that may be different. Okay, anything else? Getting Orion energy, interestingly. And I'm just hearing that they too are helping us tune out some of these lower frequencies. And this is Orion light. A reminder to remember the arc. Thinking with the heart. Remembering your power. And to trust that there is freedom from the chains of prior energies that may have been put here long ago that wanted to hold us back. That's what wishes to no longer be present here. And it may take us some time to see, understand, and trust that. Okay. And then just much love. Okay, so just wanted to add or expound upon the previous statement of the reflection period of the 2017 parallel, which is to say that after a certain amount of time, there can be a shift in our perception with a retrocausal nature, where we are able to understand or understand that an event that previously took place is indeed for highest, greatest good of the journey. And so while we are in the process, of course, of transmuting and alchemizing those energies, we may not be able to always see it from that lens. And so that's a little bit more clarification on the parallel reflection. That's not to say that some of that won't be coming up in the now and in the wave that is in process. But essentially, what it's doing is taking us to deeper levels of embodiment. So just wanted to add that. I know it's a little bit out of sync since we ended the video, and then pop back on, and I'm going to like piece this like patchwork back together. Much love.